Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks Conference Championship Edition. I'm Sam.
I'm Tarek. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing great. How are you tonight?
I'm all right. It's weird. It's always weird when we get to this time.
Agreed.
When we get to, there's 4 teams left. We're about to go down to 2. It's just like we have weeks and weeks and weeks and months of 32 teams fighting, and we're down to 4.
Everything leads to this point. Unfortunately, your team and my team don't generally get to this point very often. Mine, not in the past 30 years.
History. Depends on the time in history, and right now that it's not that time.
No. Sadness. But we had some really exciting games, and of course we had the donk in the Buffalo game, which Buffalo fans have got to be they've got to be devastated. I mean,
absolutely. I have a friend at work, and I went to him Monday, and I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh man, I felt so bad for those fans and for myself. I had a bet in for that game.
Yeah. Well, I thought they were the team. They were one of the teams in the regular season I was legitimately scared of.
Yeah.
The way they looked, I'm like, they're gonna dominate, and it was just wasn't their week.
And then, of course, there was the scare with the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Green Bay Packers had them on the ropes for 3 quarters.
Yeah, I thought Green Bay was going to win that one.
Yeah. Everything else pretty much went the way we thought it would.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Ravens dominated the entire, second half. Second half of the game, they dominated pretty well. So.
Yep.
And then Chiefs came out. Well, we already talked about Buffalo.
Yeah.
But
then there was the Lions and Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Yep.
And that was close.
That was a good game to watch.
And then the Lions pulled away.
Yep.
Which was, good for me. Well, the Ravens, they didn't give up an offensive touchdown.
No.
It was an
so
incredible
their defense was on point, and then they came back after halftime and just went, okay, offense time.
Yeah. So
Lamar scored 2 of his own touchdowns and finally made it past the divisional round.
Yeah. Baltimore finally has its first conference championship home game.
Well, yeah, they haven't had it since they had the Colts. I think it was 1971.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
First time for the Ravens to have a home conference championship.
I know. It's exciting, but tickets are so gosh darn expensive.
Yeah, and they're expensive anyway, so they're just going to rack up.
Absolutely.
Good for you for going to a playoff game, because I don't know that I'll ever get to a playoff game. But
you might. Apparently, if you buy them immediately, there's much more reasonable.
Okay.
So maybe next year, if it's we see it coming, we'll get that together and we'll do it.
We'll work on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that'll be fun.
Speaking of working on it.
Yep.
Let's move it on over.
All right, let's see. Boom. I'm not last. I'm not last.
You are not. Mike had a perfect week last week, and Brady
was very excited about it. He was very excited about it.
Doesn't surprise me. Brady, of course, went 3-1 like the rest of us, but he already had a 1-game lead.
Yeah.
So it's coming down to it, man. Everybody's right there.
Yep. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's roll the tapes and see what everybody has to say. I'm excited to see what they got. What about you, buddy?
Oh, me too. Me too. I want to see who everybody has. I want to see where I can make up any ground.
All right. We'll see. All right. We'll see you guys at the end of everybody else's picks. See you soon.
Yep.
Big Mike from Big Mike's Real Reviews here. for Pardon Our Picks, and these are going to be my picks for the championship round of the NFL playoffs 2023-2024 season. Now, last week I was a little bit long-winded, so I apologize for that. I'm going to try and wrap it up a little sooner here. However, all my picks were right last week. So, I mean, do I have a chance of taking the crown from football Jesus, a.k.a. Brady? He does have the power of being the only begotten son of the football gods on his side. So, I mean, the jury is out on that one. So let's get right to my picks. Also, I'm going to do my Super Bowl prediction. I'm going to say the first game, which is going to be 3 o'clock on Sunday, which is the Baltimore Ravens at home against the Kansas City Chiefs, who had a really good game against the Bills last night. And my goodness, I mean, when we looked at earlier in the season, I don't think anybody was thinking the Chiefs were going to make it here. But lo and behold, 6 straight seasons, they're in the AFC Championship game again. You know, you should never bet against Patrick Mahomes. And you know what? Normally I would say that. But this Ravens team is just different. This Ravens team is just very different. And I'm very confident in this Ravens team. So I still have them defeating the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and moving on to the Super Bowl. Now, 6:30 on Sunday, we're going to have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Detroit Lions. Now, again, the Detroit Lions, a Cinderella story, just like how the Texans were, and just like my man Roquan Smith said for the Baltimore Ravens, there has to be a villain in every story, and every Cinderella story has to come to an end. So I think in San Francisco, the Detroit Lions Cinderella story will come to an end, and by that villain being the San Francisco 49ers, and they will meet the Baltimore Ravens in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl, in which I think the Baltimore Ravens will win that Super Bowl. It'll be a rematch of the 2012 Super Bowl, and the Ravens will once again be victorious over the San Francisco 49ers in this year's Super Bowl. So with that being said, this has been Big Mike for Big Mike's Real Reviews for Pardon Our Picks. Thanks for watching.
I guess last week wasn't enough for you guys, so here we are with another video for the championship series. And if Football Jesus is picking them, he's the king, so should you. So in the AL championship game, it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be wet. It's going to be rainy. Baltimore Ravens football is based on running the football and playing defense well, and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be out with 2 of their starting offensive linemen. So I don't really see them being able to get the run game going as much as they'd like, even though I do see this being a game that's going to be predicated on the last score. Last score is going to be 35-24, Baltimore Ravens. You can book it. And as for the NFC Championship, it's the obvious pick. It's the Detroit Lions. I mean, against Tampa Bay last week, the 49ers were bad on offense. It was just that Tampa Bay was that much worse. So I'm going with Detroit. I think this is going to be a very close game. I think Detroit, even though they are banged up, Sam Laporte is playing with a knee injury. Their center's dealing with, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, everything under the sun. But he is playing. But again, the run game is really what's going to set this game apart. The fact that, obviously Christian McCaffrey, he's going to need to sit a spell every now and again. And I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to have a good backup in place for him. On Detroit, you've got Jahmyr Gibbs, you've got David Montgomery. I mean, they have more pieces in place. I do think it's going to be another close game. I see this coming down to a last-second field goal on Detroit's part. But if you bet on Football Jesus, because he's the king, as you should, the Super Bowl for this year is going to be the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions. See you next week.
Hey guys, welcome to Championship Weekend. Starting with the NFC Championship game, I know there's a lot of talk about how Dan Campbell has taken and turned this team around and how Jared Goff was the guy that nobody wanted, even though he had proven himself previously. On the other side of that, there's a lot of pressure on Kyle Shanahan because he continues to get close but not quite make it. You know, last year he can't really get blamed for, you know, losing all of his quarterbacks. But that being said, I think this is the year that they get through the NFC Championship and get back to the Super Bowl. I think that that will be a very close and hard-fought game, very physical. I think it's going to end up being less than a touchdown for San Francisco. I think the problem that Detroit's going to have is their secondary struggles to cover good receivers, and obviously the receivers on San Francisco are pretty amazing. I think Kittle will have a big game as well, mostly because of that. But moving on to the AFC Championship game, we have Kansas City coming to Baltimore. I think Kansas City is going to make it a difficult game. I do think at some point they're going to rally and almost come back, but I think that Baltimore is going to ultimately win the game by at least 7 points. Tight end Mark Andrews is coming back this game, but I think even with that, they're going to mix in Isaiah Likely just so that we can, I don't know, because he can do some amazing things. I think Kyle Hamilton's going to have a great game, and the number 1 defense will look much better than the number 5 defense in the Kansas City Chiefs. That being said, I think Baltimore is going to take it by 7 points, and it will ultimately be, as I said before, a San Francisco versus Baltimore Super Bowl, which I'm excited for. Have a good football week.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pardon Our Picks. I am your co-host, Tarek the GM. Welcome to the championship round of the NFL playoffs. Crazy time. Did a better job this week than last week. Ironically, same score, though. All but the Chiefs game. I wanted the Bills to win, but I actually think the Ravens have a better chance. And that goes into our first pick for the championship. Sunday afternoon at 3, we have Ravens and the Chiefs. Chiefs are coming into Baltimore. Going to be a great game. I think this is perfect, like 2 Titans against each other. We got the Ravens doing well. Think still like they're number 1, but we do well. Think we're the underdogs. And you have the Chiefs, who've been in the playoffs championship game, 5 years in a row? They got the experience. Patrick Mahomes is gonna Patrick Mahomes. But I think the Ravens are going to win. They do well as the underdog. They do well at home. That stadium is going to be loud and banging. Then we got the NFC game Sunday night. 49ers and the Lions. This is going to be interesting one. Almost the exact opposite type of game as we got with the AFC. We've got Lions who have not been in a playoff game in decades. Have not done well, not been in a championship game in so long. And you've got the 49ers who do this roller coaster thing where they do well and then they drop way down. I think the 49ers are going to do this. It's at the 49ers. It's in San Francisco. Lions, they're doing well. They're beating expectations. 49ers got that experience, and we know that helps. This leads us to the Super Bowl. Rematch, Ravens, 49ers. This time we're going to turn the lights out on them, and we're still going to win. The Ravens are going to win. Let's see how it goes. See you guys next week when we talk about just the Super Bowl and who actually won going into that game. All right, thanks, guys. See you later.
Hello, it's me again, Sam. So, this only just 2 picks. So, my picks are Ravens and 49ers. And that's it. See you later. Bye.
Hello, everyone. We're on to the conference championship games. The Ravens against the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers against the surprising Detroit Lions. Of course, Chiefs are a bit surprising too. But they've been here before. 6 times in a row, in fact. So here's what we got going on this week. Baltimore, with that impressive victory last week over the Texans, gets to play at home in their first conference championship game at home. The Chiefs, they struggled with Buffalo. That was a tough game. It was a hard-fought game. I had Buffalo winning that one. Didn't go my way. Unfortunately, I have and their running game has been surprisingly good. Isaiah Pacheco has been getting yards. The passing game, decent in the playoffs. Not great, decent. The Ravens, however, they have absolutely rolled the Texans. They were all over them. There was nothing stopping them, even in that sub-freezing weather, which I was there. It was rough. I have the Ravens winning this one. I have them winning it convincingly, at least by 10 points. The Ravens on to the Super Bowl. Now, my father will not be making his picks this week, so I'm going to be making his picks for him. Now, he is concerned currently about the state of the Ravens. Now, last week he was very impressed with how they performed, but Kansas City is a tough team. He thinks that they're going to give him a run for their money. He thinks it's going to be within a touchdown, but the Ravens will get the win and get to the Super Bowl. Let's move on to the next game. We have the San Francisco 49ers, the number 1 seed in that conference, going against the Detroit Lions, the number 3 seed. The Detroit Lions, 2 home games, 2 wins. It's great for them. This is a team that has struggled in the past in pretty much every situation. It's great to see them in the championship game, the conference championship game. I think their best bet would have been if this game would have been a home game. Unfortunately for them, it's not. San Francisco last week, they struggled early against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers kind of took it to them. They were up at halftime. 49ers ended up coming back to win that one in the fourth quarter. They were down by a touchdown in the fourth quarter, came back and won. Not a huge comeback, but still a place they don't generally sit during the year. With the way things are shaking out, the fact that Deebo Samuel will be back, Christian McCaffrey's looking healthy, Brock Purdy is doing what he needs to do. But on the other side, Jared Goff, he's got this team excited. He's got this team motivated, especially Dan Campbell also has got this team excited and motivated. He is pushing them in the right direction. This is a guy that I make fun of because he was claiming he was going to bite off kneecaps in his opening presser. He's the guy for this team. He is leading this team so well, and I think it's going to carry over into the championship game. I have the Detroit Lions making the Super Bowl. I know. I would be very excited to see this. Now, my father thinks that the Detroit Lions have looked absolutely impressive in their last couple of games. Now, they played Tampa Bay last week, and they did win by a couple touchdowns. They were scoring almost at will against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have a decent defense and a good offense, not a great offense, good offense. The fact that they were able to move up and down the field, and the fact that there was little to no issues with stopping them when they needed to stop them, bodes well. And my father has the Detroit Lions also making the Super Bowl for that fact. So that's what we have. Let's see how it goes. And I'm ready for a crazy Super Bowl. Okay.
That's an interesting take on that.
Yeah. You know what? That doesn't surprise me. some of those picks.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Really, there's only like 4 total options. So
is it even that many? I'm no good. I don't do math.
You go one way or the other for one game. Go one way or the other for the other game. 4
yeah, 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So, things are coming together.
Yep.
Making it clear. Can I catch the Brady?
Probably only if he picked opposite of everybody else.
Well, if he picked opposite of everybody else, which I doubt that he picked against the Ravens, but who knows? Maybe I'll catch him with the other one.
Mm-hmm.
He's not expecting me to pounce upon his loins.
Is that really where you wanted to go with that?
No. But that's where I went anyway.
I'm just going to edit this and just bleep that out.
At least it didn't curse.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. One more video. Just one.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next week for who we think is going to win the Super Bowl. As always, please click like, click subscribe, leave a comment who you think is going to win. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week. I'm Tarek.
I'm Sam. You have a great football week.
Bye, guys.